Hello everyone, this is Mishra, Assistant Professor in Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on electoral reforms. We all know that India is the largest democracy in the world. Elections are the most integral and important part of politics in a democratic system of governance. True democracy can function only when elections to the offices of power are held in a free and fair manner. It is generally accepted that while the first three general elections were held in a free and fair manner, a plummeting of standards started during the four general elections in 1967. Many consider the electoral system in the country as the basis of political corruption. Let's discuss about some electoral reforms. Electoral reforms before 2000. Let's discuss about the first important reform, that is lowering of voting age. The 61st Amendment Act to the Constitution reduced the minimum age for voting from 21 to 18 years. Second will be deputation to Election Commission. All personnel working in preparing, revising and correcting the electoral rolls for elections shall be considered to be on the deputation to the Election Commission for the period of such employment, and they shall be guided by the Election Commission. Next reform will be increase in the number of proposers and the security deposit. The number of electors required to sign as proposers in the nomination papers for elections to the Rajya Sabha and the state legislative councils has been raised to 10% of the electorals of the constituency or 10 such electors, whichever is less, chiefly to prevent frivolous candidate. The security deposit has been hiked to prevent non-serious candidate. Let's discuss about the most important reform that has been done by the Election Commission, that is EVM. EVM means electronic voting machine, first introduced in 1998 during the state elections of Delhi, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. EVMs are used widely now as they are foolproof, efficient and a better option in terms of environment. Next reform will be disqualification on the conviction for violating the National Honor Act. In 1971, this shall lead to disqualification of the person for 6 years from contesting to the Parliament and the state legislature. Next reform is restriction on contesting from more than 2 constituencies. A candidate cannot contest from more than 2 constituencies. Next will be death of contesting candidate. Previously, the election was countermanded on the death of contesting candidate. In the future, no election will be countermanded on the death of a contesting candidate. If the deceased candidate, however, was set up by a recognized national or state party, then the party concerned will be given an option to nominate another candidate within 7 days of the issues of a notice to that effect to the party concerned by the Election Commission. Let's discuss about next reform. It is prohibited by law to go to or near a polling booth bearing arms. This is punishable by imprisonment for up to 2 years. On polls days, employees of organizations get a paid holiday and violation of this is punishable by a fine. Next will be prohibition of liquor. No liquor or other intoxicant shall be sold or given or distributed at any shop, eating place or any other place, whether private or public, within a polling area during the period of 48 hours ending with the hour fixed for the conclusion of poll. Next will be time limit for the by-elections. By-election to any house of parliament or a state legislature will now be held within 6 months of the occurrence of the vacancy in the House. The period of campaigning has been reduced. Let's discuss about the electoral reforms after 2000. The electoral reforms target the election process in the country. The list of such electoral reforms I am going to discuss it here. First is ceiling on election expenditure. At present, there is no limit on the amount a political party can spend in election or on a candidate, but the Commission has put a cap on individual candidates spending. For the Lok Sabha election, it is rupees 50 to 70 lakh depending on the state they are contesting the Lok Sabha seat from, and rupees 20 to 28 lakh for assembly election. Next is restriction on the exit poll. The Election Commission issued a statement before the 2019 Lok Sabha elections saying that exit poll results could be broadcast only after the final phase of the elections were over. This was done to avoid prospective voters being misguided or prejudiced in any manner. Our next reform will be voting through postal ballot. In 2013, the Election Commission decided to expand the ambit of postal ballot voting in the country. Previously, only Indian staff in missions abroad and defense personnel in a limited way could vote via postal ballots. Now there are 6 categories of voters who can use the postal ballot: service voters and special voters, voters subjected to preventive detention, voters on election duty, and notified voters. Next reforms was awareness creation. The government decided to observe Jan 25th as a National Voters Day to mark the Election Commission's founding day. Next is political parties need to report any contribution in excess of rupees 20,000 to the EC for claiming income tax benefit. Next reform was declaring of criminal records, assets by the candidate is required, and declaring false information in the affidavit is now an electoral offence punishable with imprisonment up to 6 months or fine or both. I hope you all have understand the topic electoral reforms. Please like, share and subscribe Tecnia TV. Thank you so much.